and there were some French studies that they date back pretty far, and to the point where the French government banned this chemical from existence, right?
I think it was in 2002. That was under the brand name Gaucho, which is used as seed treatment. The thing, I'm so busy just working with the bees and focused on that I don't have the wherewithal to really do the research, and that's where some serious research needs to happen, is since the French shut that down in 2002 and stopped using it on sunflowers and other crops because they said it started creating what they call crazy bee disease. The bees were not finding their way back home. Therefore, they call it disappearing honeybee disease.
And that's what happens, is that these bees literally abandon their hive. Is that how it happened for you?
Well, in the most reading on the effect of this particular chemical, what is it called? Acetylcholine inhibitor. It's dealing with the synapses and the brain function, and with bees, it affects their navigation ability, so that they have the most fine-tuned navigational ability. When they leave the hive, they come right back to that spot. If anything was to affect that, and it's also in their transference of communicating to their sister bees, where crops are, where forage is, and et cetera, et cetera. So once that's messed with, change in any way, you've thrown the whole factor off. It would be like if you mess with a computer on a plane coming back to the tarmac, just by a slight bit even, and it would kind of miss the runway. Well, in this case, it's like major. So one thing I read was bees just started heading towards the sun because they're attracted to light. So it just throw off their whole navigation ability. All of these things need a lot more research. You read these various things put out by some level of science. Unfortunately, there's not one body of researchers in the country that are really investigating this, because this is major. Everybody is dependent on bees. As much as they might hate them because they sting, the fact is they wouldn't be alive without the bees, because they pretty much are the backbone of the food supply. So it's silly when people talk like that. They're just talking out of their fear center. The reality on the ground is that everyone needs bees. We're destroying them as fast and furious as we can, and there seems to be no national dialogue about it. Of course, we're a nation in the midst of several crises. So,
yeah, that's the most ridiculous thing as far as I'm concerned, is that all this stuff is going on. People hear about this phenomena of bees dying in the news, and they think the cell phones are killing the bees, or this and that, or don't know what's affecting the bees. And yet I pick up this Bee Culture magazine and read the reports about this, and it's a serious phenomena. Yet the type of funding they're talking about is like $40,000 for doing the next part of the research, and you look at any other health issue or political issue, and they're dumping hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars and even billions into ridiculous things, and yet there's no funding on this, and we're doing this series of informational spots here, just to spread the information and hope to get some good funding going. So so these beekeepers can really figure out what's going on with this, and we can really fight these chemical companies, because that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, it's just part of a whole different approach that we as citizens of this country that we desperately need to take to our whole lifestyles and our approach to what we're doing. For instance, a lot of modern America, their roots are Europe, going back hundreds of years, and back then almost everybody in different countries back then would maintain bees. They call them skeps back then, but for their honey and wax production, and of course they get mead from it and so forth, mead and honey and wax and propolis, and it was all very, very important and part of the basic lifestyle of people. And that's the kind of thing that makes sense, because then there's people maintaining bees everywhere. You don't have to do the mega transport in this crazy thing we have going in this country of driving semi-loads of bees all over the country, which is a mega stress on the bees in itself.
So maybe we can inspire some new beekeepers in this process as well.
Well, you have to inspire people on a level of particularly young people of what their future is, and if there is a future, because if it's equated with money, young people don't see any equation between beekeeping and money. It isn't part and parcel of that. Mm-hmm. It has to be a certain visionary thing that they would have in terms of the future.
Well, let's cut this short for now, so we can have another update real soon with more information. Thanks, Philip, for being here.
Thank you, Josh.